All right, guys. Joining us on the podcast, we have Utah safety Terrell Burgess. How's it going, man? Thanks so much for coming on.
I'm doing well. Thank you guys for the opportunity to be on the show.
Yeah, of course. We're excited to talk to you. And just to start this off, we just want to hear a little bit about how you got into the game of football.
Um, I kind of got in. My grandpa played football in the military, and then I really loved to play basketball. My brother was a big football player in the family, so we kind of just, he played football and basketball, and I only played basketball for a while. And it just got to a point where I just thought that football was, a fun sport. I played it in fourth grade. I liked it, but not as much as I loved basketball. And then I hated it all the way up until the end of my sophomore year in high school. And then I just decided that, football was probably going to help me continue my athletic and academic career. And it helped me get to the point I am here today. And now I'm in a good position, to continue. And I'm excited for what's to come.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's really incredible what you've done, and we'll get to that, of course. But did want to give a shout out to yourself because I think Jim Nagy mentioned it at some point, but you were not on the Senior Bowl watch list, and you made them look at that tape. It popped, and they invited you. So, congrats to you because that's impressive. That's not something that normally happens.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I've heard. It's funny because I hear that line I heard this line all week with different reporters, and even from Jim. We talked about it this week, and he was talking about how it's crazy how we had so many good guys on our Utah defense this year. So it was hard to get noticed at first, but then he said he started to see 26 come across the screen, and it caught his eye, and then over time it just kept going.
Yeah, of course. And I just want to ask you, growing up, did you have a favorite player that you kind of looked up to, maybe modeled your game after?
No, I wouldn't say I have a favorite player. I kind of just enjoyed watching football. I mean, I grew up a Cowboys fan, but that isn't, that was the kid me. I mean, I'm going to be honest, my favorite player was probably Tony Romo growing up, but I never played quarterback. So I guess that doesn't really matter.
No, Tony Romo was great, and especially as an announcer. Now, I was telling Jake the other day, I just think he's been awesome as an announcer, and it sounds like he's going to get, a shot at that Monday Night Football job. So, I'm excited to hear that. And talk about playing football growing up, but then it came time to play in college, and you ended up at Utah. What was the main factor for you in choosing them?
It's kind of funny. I get that question a lot too. I don't know. It kind of was just a gut feeling. I went on a visit to Utah in the summer going into my senior season, and I loved it. The mountains looked like a backdrop, and it was just a beautiful scenery, and the people were nice, and it was just amazing. And then every time I went on a different visit, I was always comparing it to Utah, and I felt like that was my heart trying to tell me something about where I wanted to go. So I decided to, sign my letter of intent with Utah, and the rest is just history. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, you guys had, so much talent there, and, obviously we got a chance to see that, yourself, and, I mean, Bradley and I, absolutely tormenting. I honestly felt bad for the other quarterbacks, man, because he was just mean. But on top of it, Francis Bernard was he really popped during the week. So I thought you guys as a whole really represented your program with the utmost professionalism, and obviously you really put yourselves out there for the next level. But what was your overall experience like at the Senior Bowl?
Definitely one I won't forget. It was definitely a long week. I was kind of sick the first 4 days. So from Sunday to Wednesday, I was pretty sick. So that made the week feel a little longer than it was. But it was a long week. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. I'm really grateful for the opportunity, and I'll definitely make some memories that'll last a lifetime.
Yeah, for sure. And, speaking of memories, is there any memory from your time playing at Utah, maybe a specific play or a game or just experience while you were there that stands out to you as being one of your favorite memories from your time playing in college?
I wasn't even in this play, but I remember my freshman season against BYU. The first play of the game, one of our linebackers got a pick six, and it was one of the loudest moments I heard in our home stadium, and that was definitely one of my favorite moments in college. It was crazy.
That's incredible, and that's just really cool. I mean, it's always really cool to find out what everyone thought was their favorite moment or favorite memory that really stood out, or even a play. But with that being said, you played at Utah, you played in the Pac-12. There's a lot of talent out there. I obviously don't have to go down the list and name it, but there were some guys out there, not just Utah, but some Pac-12 studs at the Senior Bowl. With that being said, toughest player you went up against in college?
Ooh, toughest player in college. I'd have to say Michael Pittman and Brandon Ayuk were pretty good from USC and Arizona State, and then Matt Bushman from BYU. He's a really good player.
Yeah, definitely some talented players there. And, just looking at yourself, as a player, what would you say is your biggest strength?
Honestly, I feel like I'm, a smart football player and really instinctive, and I have, the ability to play in multiple positions.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, versatility is really key at the next level. You look at guys like, LaMarcus Joyner that could play cornerback, safety, and you look at like Mark Barron, who, could play linebacker or safety. It's really important to, have that versatility. So I think that's something that, will really bode well for you. But kind of just looking at your game, from a criticism standpoint, what would you say is one area you're looking to improve on in regards to your game?
I'd say this isn't like something I'm like terribly bad at, but I'd say that I'd like to improve my off-man coverage, mainly just because I don't, it's more reps at it would probably help me. I just didn't have many repetitions at it, so I feel like that's probably, I guess, I don't like saying this word, but I guess a weakness of mine.
Yeah, and this next question is just kind of a fun question that we like to ask, different defensive backs. But, what quarterback, if you had to pick one in the NFL to pick off, who would that be?
Ooh, wow, that's a great question. I would
It's
have
tough.
to say. Oh, there's one of two. Either Tom Brady, obviously, he's really good. Him or Drew Brees. Drew Brees, yeah.
Yeah, those are obviously great choices there, and I guess we'll see what happens with Breeze because he got the ceremonial start in the Pro Bowl, and we're kind of all wondering what that
Oh
means.
yeah.
But hopefully you do get a chance to do that because that would mean that he was staying another year. But I do want to
Oh
ask
yeah,
you.
that's true.
Yeah, of course. But I do want to ask you because we are a Rams podcast, and you were just at the Senior Bowl. I know it's early in the draft process, but have you met or spoke with the LA Rams yet?
Yeah, I met with a few of I don't think any of the coaches, but I met with a few people on staff while I was at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, well,
And it was a good time. I mean, I'm excited to get a chance to speak to them again in the coming weeks if they reach out to me, and hopefully I get a chance to play for their team.
yeah, of course. And, just in closing, we want to hear kind of in your own words, who is Terrell Burgess as a player and who is he as a person?
Terrell Burgess as a player and a person, I'd say, they kind of go hand in hand. As a player, he's smart, instinctive, He'll do whatever is needed, and loves the game. He loves to give great effort, and just I don't know. That's a tough question, but yeah, he's just one that loves to play and can't wait to keep playing. And then as a person, he is a server. He's somewhat smart as a person. And then, yeah, he's somewhat smart as a person. He loves to serve, responsible, and just will do anything to help, an underserved community or just anyone in general. I love being a service to others and can't wait to continue that.
Hey, I like that answer, man. I'm bummed that, we didn't get a chance to meet each other. I mean, you sound like an outstanding dude. But hey, appreciate you, circling back and we got this show together, with you on it. Best of luck the rest of the way, and let's keep in touch, Terrell.
Yes, sir. Of course. Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to be on you guys' show. This is amazing.
Yeah, of course. We love talking to you, and we hope to talk to you soon, and let's keep in touch.
Yes, sir. Yeah, yes, ma'am. Sorry.
All good.
Sounds good.
All right. Take care, my man.
You too. Thank you.
All right, guys, welcome to our first interview. It's a post-draft interview, and it's with Rams safety Terrell Burgess. We're doing it on a podcast, and we're doing a video. How's it going, Terrell? How is everything? And, welcome to the show again.
Thank you. It's going well. I'm still I'm excited. It's a crazy time period. I don't know what to think right now. I'm just going through day by day, with the pick on Friday. I'm just so excited and blessed with the opportunity to be able to come contribute to a great team. So I'm ready to get to work.
Yeah, well, we're really excited as well. I mean, Jake and I spoke to you before the draft, kind of during the draft process, and we really were huge fans, and we're really hoping you'd end up over them, and you did.
Yes.
We did a live stream, and so when you got drafted, we were like jumping up and down and like super excited. So, we're hyped to have you on the team, and we're excited for you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm excited as well.
Yeah, and just kind of going back to the draft, we're just curious. So you were selected on day 2 of the draft.
Yes.
What was your setup for the draft? I mean, who did you have with you? And did you have any, party or anything like that?
I didn't really have a party. I had my siblings with me. My girlfriend was there. Obviously my mom, and then my mom's boyfriend was there. And just like small, I didn't really want a big party, especially with the quarantine and everything. We weren't able to have a party. But just a few people were there. I didn't know which day I would go, so it was crazy because I don't know. The first day I watched the draft, kind of like a fan, because I had the feeling I wouldn't go on the first day, and the second day, I knew there was a possibility, but I knew there was more of a possibility for me to go on Saturday. So it was kind of like small people again. So I didn't know what was going to happen. So I'm just blessed with the opportunity.
Yeah, it's awesome hearing your take on that, and like you said, watching as a fan. But the cool thing about the draft is, when you get selected, where you get selected, it's all about, you're selected, right? Some guys, they choose to look at it as in a way like, well, you guys are all going to pay because I went later than a guy that I know I'm better than. But, we know you, just having you on, we knew you would be the humble guy that you are. Looks like, you're just really just happy to be a Ram, and obviously we're happy to have you.
100%.
But with that being said, you waited a little bit. The Rams had 2 picks in the 3rd round. They went with Terrell Lewis, so they went with another Terrell.
Yes.
I think that's the first time I've ever seen that. And and then, what was the feeling like when your name was ultimately called with their 2nd pick in the 3rd round?
It felt great. I just remember, like, the 3rd down was winding down, and we got to, like, the 100th pick, and I knew there was only 6 picks left. I looked at the teams, and I was like, there's only a couple teams on there that I've actually, like, really talked to. The rest of the teams I haven't. So it'd be like I don't want to say it'd be like a miracle if they would have drafted me, but I didn't know what was going to happen. So, the pick 100 went by, pick 101 went by. It it was like in the middle of pick 102, my phone starts buzzing, and I was like, "Ooh, this is crazy." And it says Thousand Oaks, California, and I was like, "Oh, geez, this is the Rams." Like, and I didn't know if it was going to be the call, and it ended up being the call. It was an amazing feeling. I was sitting right next to my brother when I got the call, and I was just excited to be able to start on a new team. I'm just excited.
Yeah, definitely. And just kind of going back to the call, how did that call go, and what was that like?
I'm sure it's all over social media right now, but so he calls me and I say, "Hello, this is Terrell Burgess." He said, "Hey, this is Les Snead," and I kind of like paused for a second, and he said, "How you doing?" I said, "I'm doing well." And then he said, "I was what Los Angeles Rams," and I started to hear anything else that he said, honestly, because I was so emotional, and all I heard was him talk about, "All right, Coach McVay's gonna call you with the," and like he called me, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna hand the phone." After he's talking for a while, I didn't hear much what he said. Coach Staley gets on the phone. He starts talking. I don't hear much of what he said, so I was just so emotional. I remember some things, but a lot of it I was so emotional, so overwhelmed with the pick, and so excited that I don't remember much of the conversation. But I knew it was a good one.
No, I hear you there. I did see it on social media. It was a lot of fun. Seeing that and seeing how you and how you and your family just really happy and just raw emotion from you. They actually posted it on Sneed's side of the call and then your side. So pretty cool stuff there.
Yeah.
I know you spoke with us earlier. You told us the Rams met with you. But did you have a really good feeling about this ultimately being your landing spot, or did this kind of come out of nowhere?
Honestly, like I feel like there was things throughout the draft process, like from the day that I like had my last game, my bowl game, until the draft day on Friday, that like I should have like took notice to, but I think I kind of was just going through day by day, like thinking in my head that it could be any team. So I think I had no clue that it was going to be the Rams, but I'm excited it is. I'm excited I get to stay in Southern California. It's where I'm from. So I'm just excited to get to work.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it was reported that you had been mentored by former Utah great and last year's starting Rams free safety Eric Weddle. What's your relationship like with him?
Oh, it's nice. I mean, he was really good friends with my DC from college. They played at Utah together. So I think we text back and forth sometimes. He gives me advice on different things sometimes. He's a really good person. I'm glad that I have him as a resource to this next step in my life.
Yeah, that's awesome. Eric, he was awesome seeing him play for the Rams, albeit, it was only 1 year, but, love seeing what he was able to do throughout his career. And then, when he gives the ringing endorsement about you, we already knew about you, but when he gave that ringing endorsement, it kind of, helped the rest of the Ram fan base kind of like, okay, all right, there we go.
Yes.
With that being said, have any of your new Rams teammates reached out to you, and if so, who has that been?
Obviously I knew a couple of I knew Cam Akers and I knew Jordan Fuller, so we've had a couple conversations since we got picked, and then I reached out to John Johnson and Taylor Rapp this morning, so I've talked to them. Also Andrew Whitworth, I've talked to him, so I've talked to a couple guys since I got drafted, and I'm just excited to be able to meet my new teammates and go to war with them.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, this next question is something that's always interesting to ask people after they've been drafted. But
Yes.
looking back on the draft process, what would you say was your favorite part of the process and your
and your worst part? Okay. My favorite part of the process was, I definitely would have to say, that's hard. I think being able to train, honestly, no, like going to the Combine and the Senior Bowl were both like a great experience. They might have been long weeks, but they were a great experience just because I got to meet a bunch of guys around the country that are, trying to do the same thing like I am. Obviously, there's a lot of guys on my team that were going into the draft, and they're excited as well. But being able to meet guys from around the country that are trying to do the same thing as you with this, same skill set, different skill set, they play different ways. It's nice to see, put a name to the face and be able to compete in a different atmosphere than your comfortable facilities and at your college. So I think that was the best part, like going to the Combine and Senior Bowl. The worst part, I'd say those 2 minutes before, like maybe like the 5 minutes before, 5-10 minutes before I got drafted was probably the worst part, just because I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, just because like I started to get nervous. Like the whole week, I was like, I'm staying, keep my head on. Like people kept asking me if I was nervous. And I'm like, no. But I started to get really nervous like right before I got the call. And I think that might have been the worst part. Everything else, the draft process was great. The meetings I had with all different teams was great. Like the FaceTime calls, nothing was short of amazing. So I think I'd say like those few minutes right before I got the call that I was really nervous was probably the worst part. And that's not saying much. So I think I had a pretty good draft process in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we've asked that question before. We even had one person from the past say, yeah, I hated everything about it. I'm happy it's over with. So
that's funny.
It's always funny to get a variation of responses on that. Did forget to ask you earlier, you're with the Rams defense. It's a rookie defensive coordinator in Brandon Staley here.
Yes, sir.
We don't have a lot of information as analysts and reporters, but, kind of how we're expecting this to go is that they're going to try and emulate something of a Vic Fangio scheme, who is now the head coach of the Denver Broncos, and he was a defensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears. My question for you is, what do you see your role being with the Rams, moving forward?
Honestly, I see my role like the way I try to approach the game is just try and give more in value than I can receive in payment, and that's my DC told me that in college, and I'm willing to do anything, whatever it takes to help the team win. So if the team needs me to play corner, nickel, safety, play special teams, any position they need me to play on the defense side of the ball. I mean, I'd rather stay on the defense side of the ball, but if they ask me to move to the offense side of the ball, I would do that as well. So, but I mean, I'll play any position. I just want to be able to contribute.
Love that answer. And do you have a specific goal that you've set yourself for your first NFL season?
Do I have a what?
A specific goal that you've set for yourself for your first NFL season?
Ooh, no, I haven't set any goals yet. That's probably my next thing on the list. I need to do before I get to camp and everything. But I definitely want to make I'll tell you, my first goal is to make the team, to make the 53, I guess now 56 man roster. I want to be able to do that and be able to contribute on the team, and then I'll start to make goals along as they go.
Hey, I like that. I definitely like that. The goal question, I mean, you had to throw it out there. Obviously, there's a lot you've been, kind of throwing the kitchen sink at this weekend. Yeah. So, it's pretty cool there. But, last question from me here. What would you say to Rams fans about what you yourself are bringing to the table to LA starting day one?
Starting day one, you're gonna bring. I'm bringing a guy that likes to work. I'm gonna give 110% effort as many times all the time. Every day I come on to work because this is a job now. So I'm ready to get it, and I'm ready to come contribute, do what I can to help the team win, bring a championship back to the Rams. I don't want to say back to Los Angeles because it's only been here for a couple of years, and it was in St. Louis. But I want to say just come help bring a championship back to the team.
That's awesome. We love it, and we're excited for you. Again, we're so happy that you're a Ram. A lot of exciting times coming up for you, so I know that you're excited as well. And just thank you so much for taking the time. We know that you've been super busy, obviously, the past couple of days, but for taking the time to talk to us, it means a lot.
Oh, of course. Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely, Terrell. Of course, let's keep in touch. We'll be following you, and good luck the rest of the way. Of course, most importantly, wishing you and your family all the health in the world, and of course, football health. Stay healthy, man, because you're going to do big things.
100%. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. You have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.